Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back. So, I just got a shipment in yesterday and had a little bit of time to play around with these fragrances. Let's talk about it. So, I got 3 fragrances in. I got Marwa by Rabia Prestige, finally. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have 1,000 bottle collection. You know, I want to make sure I get the best of the best and that I really just enjoy what I get. You know, I've been burned by trying to buy the hype. I'm like, nah, dude. At this point, I usually wait about 6 months, 9 months, and see if something's still getting praise. And that's definitely the case here. So I was like, all right, let's go for it. But yeah, when you buy the hype, you'll get burned. So unless your goal is to have a bunch of fragrances you don't wear and waste your money, I don't see why you would do that, right? If I was just like trying to be this big reviewer, then yeah, sure, I'd have thousands of bottles. Like, yeah, I'll review fragrances, but it's just a hobby, man. Like, my goal is not to be able to review every single fragrance and have thousands of bottles. Like, no, I want to try to get the good stuff and kind of come in as a second opinion, like checking behind other reviewers and seeing like, are they getting paid? Like, what are they talking about here? And sometimes they're right. Other times I'm like, this one's suspicious. But okay, make your money, boo. But anyways, let's start with this one. So, okay, let me go through the other one. So I got Marwa Rabia Prestige. I got Nocturno Elixir by Rayhan doing its interpretation on Bleu de Chanel Exclusive. And I got Lynked by Afnan. This is a hybrid interpretation of the Most Wanted DNA and mixed with YSL Myself. So it's a hybrid. But let's start here. So Marwa, this interpretation of imagination. The reviews are right. It's literally just smells like luxury soap. And I think the main reason I'm having a tug with this is because one of my buddies, one of my really good friends, he has Bou Jeremy's Hectic interpretation of this. And it's not closer. This is closer. It's like 90%. This is really close to original imagination. But it just goes to show, guys, that once you build a big enough collection, you start to understand what you're drawn towards. You start to kind of really find yourself as far as what you want to smell like. You know, this is too simple for me. I'm not mad that I have it. It's going to be super easy to just throw on, go to the gym, not have to think about it. So it's not a bad fragrance. It's exactly what people have been describing. You're just going to smell like elegant soap, super linear, straightforward profile. Smells good. But I think I'm struggling to really enjoy this because I already know what Bou Jeremy's Hectic looks like. Because when I go to my buddy's house, I've smelled it at least 5 times, and I'm like, oh, it's beautiful, dude. Bou Jeremy's Hectic, what you get is, this leans more into the soap. In Bou Jeremy's Hectic, it's definitely more of a twist. It's probably only about 80% close. And it goes into a sweet tea note that's being garnished, like just perfectly garnished and seasoned with ginger and cinnamon, and it is gorgeous, dude. And then it has a little bit of soap kind of playing a undertone supporting role. I would much rather have that than this. And if you watched my recent video that I posted earlier this week, I was kind of talking about this topic, how first you kind of gotta buy a lot of stuff and kind of understand what you like, right? But eventually you start to understand what you like, and I think it's smart to stop trying to go for the one-to-one interpretation. I bought this because it wasn't just hype. You know, people kept talking about it, raving about it. And because it's the closest one-to-one interpretation, I was like, all right, let's just give it a shot. Let's see what's going on here. But if you watch that video, I was talking about how sometimes the better thing to do is not try to go for the one-to-one, but try to figure out which twist, which one's kind of doing a little bit of a different spin on the DNA that you're probably going to enjoy more. So my refrigerator is just making random noises. So with this one, like I said, I wish I would have gotten Bou Jeremy's Hectic, but part of me was like, I don't want to smell like my friends, you know? So let me try to get this. Let's take a shot here and see what happens. I think the main thing is I was hoping this would be like a little bit more intriguing, but this is a really straightforward profile. Like if I didn't know any better, I'd say this is like a 2-note breakdown. Like it's super straightforward. Doesn't smell bad though, it smells good. But like I said, eventually, once you understand what you like, stop trying to go for the one-to-one clones. Go for the one that's going to speak to you most. The one that smells the best to you. It doesn't matter how close it is. It matters how good it smells to you. So anyways, that's that. The next one, Nocturno Elixir by Rayhan. This is supposed to be doing its interpretation on Blue de Chanel exclusive. Off rip, let me just go ahead and tell you guys, you got to let this mature. I'm not even gonna really try to bash on it too much now because I want to give it a chance. I want to let it mature. Kind of reminds me of when I picked up 9 p.m. Elixir. At first, it actually is not as bad as this though. This is like, I'm not liking this at all, but I'm gonna give it a shot. But with this, it was not bad when I first got it in, but I really started to like it after about a month or two. It's still very challenging. It's a spicy, sweet profile. It's a spicy twist on Lamel Elixir, which I actually prefer because Lamel Elixir is way too just sweet, kind of straightforward, honeyed profile. I like the spices that they brought in here, but it's challenging. This is not blind buy safe. This is a very challenging profile that you gotta like. This will wear you if you don't wear it. You gotta be confident. You gotta be doing your thing. Fresh shave. Throw on your best shirt. Fresh haircut. Like, you need to be on point to wear this. But this grew on me a lot, and that's what I'm hoping this will do. The main tug I have with this is the funky animalic note is tough to overlook. So right here, I'm about an hour in to a dry down. I just resprayed here about 15 minutes ago. So the main thing you're gonna get here is the first 10 to 15 minutes, you get the blue shower gel, but unfortunately the funk is so, the musky funk is not it, man. And that doesn't start to die down until about 15 minutes in. So the first 15 minutes, I couldn't enjoy this. I was like, that funky musk is not it, man. But once you get about 15 minutes in, it starts to die down, and that's when the amber starts to poke through. And I was like, okay, this has hope. I have hope now that the amber's kind of poked through a little bit. But the unfortunate part is 15 minutes in, once that funk starts to die down, so does the blue shower gel. Like, the blue shower gel does not last here in the way that it would in the Blue de Chanel. So that's unfortunate. You lose the funk, but you also lose the blue shower gel. So it's like the good thing goes with the bad thing. And then you get into the mid notes pretty much 15 minutes in. You start to poke through into that. Really 30 minutes in is when you start to really get into it. But 15 minutes in, you start to introduce that kind of sweet, warm amber. The musk starts to die down, but so does the blue shower gel. And once you get 30 minutes in, there's pretty much no blue shower gel left. And the musk is still slightly there, still being a little funky, being kind of annoying, but you've gotten fully into kind of the sweet amber. And that's where I was like, okay, I'm starting to enjoy this a little bit more. But unfortunately, the performance is bad. Like here, I'm an hour in, and I'm not getting much. It's like a skin scent almost already. So I think this just needs a chance to mature. I'm gonna give this its fair chance. I'm gonna come back here, a month or two later and give it a fair shot. So like I said, I'm about an hour in here. I'm like 15 minutes in here. And yeah, 15 minutes in, the blue shower gel's there. The funk is kind of dry. It's starting to die down a little bit. And I know the amber's about to start poking through here. But all in all, this is kind of an L, I'll be honest. Off first impression, this is really just a first impression, right? I'll come back, but as of right now, I can't recommend this. Check back in. But yeah, it's like, this is why you don't buy into the hype. So as I said earlier in the video, I try to wait for things to die down. This just came out 3 months ago. This is still kind of in the hype territory, and I hope you can learn from me, right? So there's like 2 big lessons you're gonna learn in this video, hopefully. The third one, Lynked by Afnan. This is a banger, dude. This is really freaking good. So some people say it leans 70% this way, 30% that way. Other people say it the other way around. Oh no, it's 70% this way, 30% that way. To my nose, so like I said, this is a hybrid of the Most Wanted Parfum DNA by Azzaro and YSL Myself DNA coming together. To my nose, this is more the Most Wanted DNA. This is like 70% the Most Wanted with an undertone of YSL Myself. In the opening though, first 5 minutes, it's about 50-50. So first 5 minutes, I actually don't, it's not that I don't like it, but that's my least favorite part about it. But once I get past the first 5 minutes and it really starts to settle more into the warm, fresh, aromatic, spicy, the most wanted DNA that starts to kind of take over, that's when I'm like, okay, this is a W. This is so good. But yeah, it's pretty much what you're going to get, man. You're going to get, like I said, warm, fresh, spicy, not super warm. It's aromatic and it's fresh, but it's got just the right amount of warmth, a little bit of that spice coming together with that warmth. And then the undertone of those like clean fabric softener notes, those clean fabric softener type of vibes that you'll get from YSL Myself is playing like a supporting role under all of that. And it is just gorgeous, man. I think the main thing with this fragrance, man, is this is so versatile. And it's very rare that I'll find a versatile fragrance that's not offensive, that's easy to throw on, kind of dumb reach, but that's still intriguing. That's not boring, like something like this. This is boring. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just boring. Like straight up. This is just as, not just as safe as this. This is like on another level of safe, but this is safe, man. You're not gonna offend anybody. You can wear this to the office, you can wear this to the gym, but you can also wear this on a date. Like that's rare that you can wear something to all these occasions and it be intriguing. There's a lot of fragrances, especially in the designer realm, that you can kind of wear everywhere, right? But there's not a lot of fragrances that you can wear everywhere that are super versatile, that are not boring and have a lot of complexity. This is rare, man. This is a very rare fragrance that actually does that. Like I said, you can wear it to the gym, you can wear it to the office. I would love to wear this on a date though. Like it's good. It's got enough kind of warm and spice, and yeah, just it's got enough going on for me to want to wear on a date still. It's like, this is beautiful, man. This is about as versatile as it gets. I think the only thing this might not do very well in is maybe a super cold winter day. But even then, this might have enough warmth and enough spice to perform on a cold winter day. So we'll have to find out. But this is good, dude. This is really, really good. I'm gonna definitely do a full review on this soon. These two I can go ahead and do full reviews on. This one I gotta let it sit. I want to give it a fair shot. But yeah, it's kind of just a first impression, guys. And so these are the main things I want you to take away from this video. And this is something I'm really starting to understand now. This is what happens when you try to get the one-to-one instead of trying to go for the one that's going to speak to you most. That's what happens. This is what happens when you don't let the hype die down. You're probably going to get burned. And I'm hoping this will mature and get better. But as of right now, I'm like, I feel like, ouch, it burns. You know, this is rough. This is what happens when you wait, do your due diligence, and completely wait for the hype to die down. And this is still getting praise a year later. I think this came out like a year ago, year and a half ago. And it's still getting praised, and it deserves all of the hype and all the praise that it's gotten. This is really, really good. And some examples of that. Some of my favorite fragrances in my collection, as far as clones go, they're actually not even the closer one-to-one interpretation. Ophidian Mango Bliss by Paris Corner. If you've been watching my videos, you've seen this pop up a lot. I absolutely love this fragrance. And this is probably only 83% of the way to God of Fire. So there's a God of Fire clone. This was actually one of the first ones that they made. I know most people now, they rave about Fulkin Fue or like Spectre Malachite, I think is what it's called. Mango Ice was another big one that got big last summer. I'm glad I have this one and not the other ones, because after really kind of going through reviews and hearing what people are saying, it seems like the other ones almost lean more unisex. This one's perfect for me. Like, there's not many unisex fragrances that I absolutely love. There's actually only one, that had me in an absolute chokehold, and that is Liquid Brune. This is the only unisex fragrance that I'm like, I don't even care. This is gorgeous. And this set the standard for clones. So like, this is just Mount Rushmore of clones, you know? So it makes sense. But like I said, it's only about 83% of the way to God of Fire. But I think the twist makes me like it that much more, because what this does is it goes more into a woody, more masculine leaning, a little bit more spicy. Maybe not as sweet as God of Fire. It goes more into the juicy aspects of the mango, not like sweet. Not like the sweet side of things. I like the twist. I'm glad I have this. I'm glad I didn't go for Vulcan Foy. I'm glad I didn't go for the other ones, because this has more of a twist that I'm going to enjoy more, which is that more masculine, woody take, a little bit spicier take on God of Fire. It's so good. Another example, this is my favorite fragrance in my whole collection, including niche, including designers, including clones. This is me, bro. This is dumb. It's called Angelic Elixir on the Rocks. This is Dua by the Dua brand. It's their interpretation. It's not even an interpretation, and I think that's the point I'm trying to make. This is actually a hybrid. So if anything, it's 50% of both of the things it's cloning, because it's like a perfect 50-50. This is the Angel Share DNA mixed with Apple Brandy by Killian. This is just gorgeous, man. This is beautiful. I don't think it can get better than this. I don't know what profile is going to top this for me. And the fact that a Dua brand clone is my favorite fragrance out of all the fragrances I have, it's crazy, you know? But like I said, this is a hybrid. This isn't more than 50% close to this isn't a one-to-one in any way. You don't need to get the one-to-one. Try to find the one that's gonna speak to you most. I knew I liked both of these fragrances as standalones. I love Apple Brandy, and I love Angel Share. That's one of the few fragrances that I have like 5 different clones for, because I think the Angel Share DNA is just, I don't care if it's hyped to death, I don't care if it's been cloned to death, like, that's just a gorgeous DNA. It's incredible. But I love this. I knew I liked the 2 originals, and this is my favorite fragrance in my collection now. So yes, the main 2 things, guys, that I'd say you should try to take away from this video is, once you get a feel for what you like, I would recommend you stop trying to go for the one-to-one. Don't buy the hype. When you do your due diligence and you see that people are still raving about a fragrance a year later, there's probably a reason for that. I think a really good example of that is Eternal Oud by Lattafa. I really can barely distinguish this from Grand Soir. Some people say it's only like 93%. I'm like, bro, this is damn near a one-to-one. I don't own Grand Soir because I don't need it. This has completely scratched the itch. I think I would actually prefer this in Grand Soir because, and no, it doesn't even smell different. Like, to me, it genuinely doesn't smell different, and this is a $30 clone. Like, why would I ever go buy Grand Soir? But yeah, I've gone to the mall. Every time I go to the mall, I always spray it on, or I'll spray it on the test strip, because I always just want to get more and more familiar with Grand Soir, and I'm just like, I can't distinguish this from Grand Soir. And this is an old clone. I think this clone's been out for like 3 years, probably longer, and people are still talking about it. This is an example of when you give things time for the hype to die down. When you give a fragrance time and the hype has died down and people are still raving about it, there's a reason. This is fire. This is really good. These 2 had me in an absolute chokehold last fall and winter. Insane fragrances. And this is the other example, right? To this day, these people are still going crazy about this fragrance because it really is so close to Altair. Same thing with this. Some people say they can distinguish certain nuances here and there, whatever. It's a little bit different. To my nose, this is like 93, 95%. Like, it's so close. It's like, all right, bro, I'm not about to nitpick. This is a Mount Rushmore when it comes to clone fragrances. Like, this set the standard for clones. I remember when this came out like 2.5 years ago. This literally set the standard for how good a clone can get. This is a $30 clone. I think I saw this on Joma's shop for like 25 bucks this past weekend. It's still talked about 2 years later. There's a reason for it. It is just that good. So yeah, guys. Hope y'all are able to take some stuff away from this video. Hope you enjoyed listening to me yap and kind of go through some of these fragrances. Stay tuned. Like I said, I'll definitely do my full reviews. This one's gonna have to sit for a while, but I'll come around to it. But that's it for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.